starts right now.
Good morning to you. It's a soggy Thursday, March 16th, spring break, so we've got some folks off today. Alyssa's in for Steph. Mia is in for Justin, and we'll talk to Steven in just a moment. But did you hear the downpour on the roof a little while ago?
I could. I'm already ready to snuggle in and enjoy some Netflix.
That's right. So we've got rain in the area right now. Mia is here right now as we go outside with live cam and transition to her for an update on the always interesting forecast, but particularly in this next couple of days.
Yeah, exactly. If there is one word to describe the forecast into the upcoming weekend, it is busy. Right now, yes, it is a soggy start in and around the San Antonio area. We've got some patches of drizzle and a few light showers pushing across the metro. Still going to be a warm and muggy day, but a potent cold front moves in overnight tonight. That is not only going to spark a strong to severe storm chance before sunrise Friday morning, but that's also going to filter in much colder and windy conditions into south central Texas tomorrow and into the upcoming weekend. You can see out there on radar right now, yes, just some of that drizzle moving across Bexar County. A more notable downpour north of 1604 and just east of 281 there near Bulverde. Another little shower in northern Atascosa County. Dew points are high, so it is a muggy start as well. You can just see that moisture. Taking a look outside, 67 degrees officially over at SA International this hour. Into this afternoon, a few peaks of sunshine. Some of that cloud cover starts to break up. Temperatures climb to about 80 here in San Antonio, but check this out. After we see that front move in tonight with that strong to severe storm potential, much colder air moves in for the upcoming weekend. So we'll time all of it out, get you a look at that future cast coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, let's send things over to Steven for a check at the traffic.
Hey, thanks so much, Mia. And we have been keeping a very close eye on the roadways. And unfortunately, it does look like some of the issues have picked up here. Get ready. We're about to send a push alert. If not, you may have already received it on your KSAT mobile app. Make sure you have those notifications turned on. We let you know about incidents just like this at I-10 East at Loop 410. Not a good one. Unfortunately, we have back-to-back traffic out there, and you can see from that lens at TransGuide, it's a very blurry shot. I was speaking to our friends over there a little bit earlier. They were trying to wipe the lens, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get a very clear picture. But what we can see is that it's bumper-to-bumper traffic out there, and the situation is not good. Again, this has been reported as a major crash along Loop 410 southbound as you approach I-10 East. Now, notice this. We have a little bit of the red that's disappeared from our map there. It does look like we have a pretty big closure, so that's why we're also seeing that backup take place. We're going to watch this area very closely, but while we're at it, let's get a view of the metropolitan area. Thankfully, everywhere else it is pretty green out there, but as we've also been saying throughout the morning, anytime the rain does come in, we tend to see the roads get a little bit more slippery. That's because of that dust and the dirt that's built up on there that's getting washed away. So if you have travel plans, or maybe you know of anyone that's traveling into town, remind them, take it slow out on the roads. Again, the big problem for right now, folks, is going to be here at I-10 East at Loop 410 is a shot from TransGuide. Make sure you have the KSAT app downloaded and have those notifications turned on. We'll be tracking the situation throughout the morning. Mark, Alyssa.
Stephen, thank you. Crowds caught off guard at the San Antonio Zoo as part of a tree falls during a busy spring break day.
Viewer video shows the moments after the massive piece came crashing onto guests. It happened just after noon yesterday near the Birds of the World habitat. The tree and the trunk that was originally left behind have been removed.
San Antonio fire officials say at least 7 people were hurt when that tree fell, including one deemed a priority 1, which typically means life-threatening injuries. We are still at this hour working to learn more about their conditions. The zoo's statement says its teams are investigating what caused that tree to fall. We spoke with an arborist who has not inspected the tree but has looked at our Sky 12 video. George Cardenas believes the tree may have been overweight and had some decay where the branch and the trunk joined, but he says this situation isn't uncommon.
This part of San Antonio and Texas, with the drought and the weather conditions, some of these trees, they have a hard time adapting to this environment. Cedar elm in the zoo, there's a lot of factors working against the tree, from underground utilities, sidewalks, soil compaction, people walking around the tree, and things like that will reduce oxygen and water pockets in the soil and definitely minimize mineral and nutrient resources available to the tree.
Now, that tree expert says that tree out at the zoo is a cedar elm, the most common found in the Lone Star State. He says based on its size, a branch that fell like this one could have weighed anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 pounds. All right, so in response to the incident, the zoo said in part, we're working with our internal and external teams to investigate the cause of the breakage to prevent this unusual event from happening again.
And our gratitude is with guests, staff, and first responders who assisted during this incident. And our sincerest thoughts and prayers go out to those injured and their families, as well as those who witnessed this accident.
Let's get caught up on the rest of the day's news in today's 9 at 9. The banking world is facing more turmoil this morning. One of Europe's biggest bank, Credit Suisse, announcing they're borrowing up to $54 billion from the Swiss Central Bank. The announcement comes after their stock plunged 24% yesterday.
Worries about banks are whipping the markets back and forth in trading yesterday. The markets will open this morning after the S&P finished the day down 0.7% and the Dow dropped nearly 0.9%. The Nasdaq finished basically flat.
The Biden administration is demanding that TikTok's Chinese owners sell their stake in the company or the app could be banned in the United States. A ban on TikTok could face a legal battle. The company could argue the ban violates the First Amendment. TikTok's chief executive is scheduled to testify before a House committee next week.
Honda is recalling over 448,000 vehicles because of a problem with the seatbelt. Honda says the seatbelt in the driver's seat and front passenger seat may not latch properly. The automaker says it has not received any reports of injuries due to the problem. Impacted owners will be contacted by mail starting April 17th.
Two major storm systems hitting both sides of the country are proving to be dangerous. In California, a dramatic helicopter rescue shows a man being pulled from fast-moving water. Heavy rains are also triggering landslides there. On the East Coast, snow rescues being made after a powerful nor'easter dropped multiple feet of snow across Massachusetts.
The impact of the ongoing devastating storms in California could trickle down to the prices at your local grocery store. Many of the state's key growing areas are flooded, delaying harvesting of essential crops. Agricultural officials say it's too early to fully assess the damage, but are working to mitigate the long-term impact.
The Federal Trade Commission announcing Fortnite will have to pay $245 million to users tricked into making unwanted or unauthorized purchases. The FTC accused Fortnite of using a confusing button configuration where players would press it and incur unwanted charges. When customers disputed the charges with their credit card companies, the FTC says Epic Games locked their accounts.
State education officials have taken over the Houston Independent School District. Leaders of the state's largest school district got a letter yesterday informing them of the temporary takeover. It comes amid report failures in several years of what the state considers unsatisfactory grades at multiple schools.
The Virgin Orbit rocket company stopped all operation for at least the next week as it works to find more money. The company delivered the news to workers during a meeting with its CEO yesterday afternoon. The company-wide pause went into effect immediately. Though no deal for additional funding has been solidified, the company is reportedly in talks to secure more money. And that's today's 9 at 9. 9:06. Hollywood writers are inspiring local students from UTSA and other schools this spring break at a unique two-day event.
Tiffany Huertas joins us from UTSA downtown with a look at this year's Screenwriters Spring Break.
Good morning. Students are focused this morning and they're hard at work. Writers are helping students develop their own TV show this spring break, and they're having lots of fun. To talk more about this, we have Paul with UTSA, plus writer and producer John Herrera of The Handmaid's Tale. Good morning to both of you. Paul, let's start with you. Tell us about this unique program.
So we have students from all over the city, multiple high schools, UTSA and Alamo colleges have all come together to collaborate on television scripts, to pitch new television shows, develop seasons, and break a pilot episode.
And John, what have you all been doing the last day?
Well, we've had all the students working on these ideas that they prepared beforehand and kind of fleshing them out and getting them ready. And today we're actually going to have them put together a pitch that the whole group presents for the whole program. So it's really exciting.
Talking to the students, their ideas, are they different, unique?
Oh, they're extremely unique. In fact, we had to select one out of each group, and it was so hard to select them that every single idea we wanted to develop. But we only have 2 days, so we had to pick one.
What message do you have maybe to other young writers?
Just keep writing, because you've got to get through the bad ideas before you get to the good ones, and you are going to get to the good one before you even realize it. So just keep doing the work.
Amazing. Well, we're going to hear from some of the students coming up on the noon show, but for now, we'll send it back to you, and thank you to both of you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Tiffany. 9:08, 66 degrees still ahead on GMSA at 9.
A big rent relief program in our city ending earlier than expected. The deadline you need to know before it closes.
This morning, we're getting a look at the new type of spacesuit that NASA and Texas-based company Axiom Space unveiled yesterday. This is just a prototype, though. The ones the astronauts will wear in space will be white. NASA says that helps protect against extreme high temperatures. These new suits come with specialized tools like an HD video camera and a light band on the visor of the helmet. As I mentioned this morning, that's something straight out of sci-fi movies we've seen in the past. Astronauts will start using these new suits to start training later this summer.
And speaking of space, NASA says the moon has much more water on it than they once believed. NASA shared this map of the moon's water yesterday. As you can see, researchers believe much of the lunar water can be found on the moon's south pole. The darker the blue area, the more concentration of water. NASA says this is important because lunar water could one day be a critical resource for establishing a long-term human presence on the moon.
Interesting. All right, 66 degrees out there. Mia joins us here at the desk, and we're on storm alert going into tonight.
Yes, that is exactly the case. You're definitely going to want to keep your KSAT Weather Authority handy as we sleep. Maybe turn those notifications on before heading to bed, even though you'll probably wake up due to some rumbles of thunder through the overnight hours. A lot of changes headed our direction over the next few days as we see a potent cold front push into south central Texas overnight tonight mainly. Along with it comes a line of storms, some of which are expected to be strong to potentially even severe. We will need to monitor for some damaging winds as well as some isolated embedded storms that could contain a bit of hail associated with that as well. We could see a few lingering showers to a few stray rumbles first thing tomorrow morning by the time you're stepping out for the morning commute. But then after that, focus and attention is going to turn to the cold as well as the wind. Gusts upwards of 40, maybe even 45 miles per hour possible tomorrow morning. That will make it feel like the 30s here in San Antonio. Feels like temperatures, wind chills, what you're dressing for stepping out the door tomorrow. Still unseasonably cold and at times damp into the upcoming weekend with a few showers possible. And yes, a few flakes will be possible. Impacts due to the fact that ground temperatures are expected to remain just above freezing. Now, speaking of kind of the dampness in spots, we do have those conditions in place early this Thursday morning. Just a bit soggy and drizzly out there. We've got just patches of drizzle and some light rain pushing across Bexar County. We do have a little bit more notable of a downpour here. This is now moved into Comal County there. There's I-35, Highway 46 right there just south of Smithson Valley. And then we've got another little shower moving into southern Bexar County. That is approaching Loop 1604 just to the southeast of the Somerset area. Now, generally throughout the remainder of the morning, a few more light showers certainly possible. And then we'll, for the most part, dry things out as we head into Thursday afternoon. But yes, that is ahead of that bigger rain and storm chance that moves in overnight tonight, associated with this low pressure system and its front. You can see ahead of the front, more rain pushing across portions of the upper Midwest. Behind it, where that colder air is filtering in, some snow across the northern plains and stretching back over into the Rockies. We'll time this out. Your futurecast depicting what the radar could look like here here over the next 24 hours. This is 3 p.m. this afternoon. A few isolated lingering showers possible in our far eastern counties. I do think the cloud cover we have in place this morning is going to break up a bit more. We'll find a few more peaks of sunshine with a high near about 80 degrees this afternoon. Then watch what happens as we head into tonight and into the pre-dawn hours of our Friday. We see that front then move into portions of the hill country by about 10 to 11 p.m. It pushes into San Antonio just after midnight and between about midnight to 2 a.m. And there is that line of storms that is expected to accompany the boundary. 3 a.m. likely getting woken up to some of those rumbles of thunder here in and around the San Antonio area. Some activity also possible in our far western counties closer to the Rio Grande. That scattered activity continues. 5 a.m. into 7 a.m. could find a few stronger storms across portions of the coastal plains, but really by the time you're stepping out for the morning commute, yes, you still want to take the umbrella with you and remember to bundle up. We'll start to see those rain chances taper off throughout the remainder of our Friday. Again, it is possible that we do find some severe thunderstorms out there as well as this line pushes in. We'll need to monitor for some strong damaging winds and some isolated instances of hail in some of those embedded storms. But then here comes the wind, turning windy through the overnight hours after that front passes you by. Tomorrow morning, we're waking up to wind gusts generally upwards of about 40 to maybe even 45 miles per hour. As that colder air filters in along with those winds, it is going to feel like the 30s for most of us. First thing tomorrow, maybe a few wind chill values in the upper 20s across portions of the hill country. Again, that's not the actual air temperature. Air temperatures are expected to remain above freezing, but it is still going to feel very, very cold. In terms of those actual thermometers, we'll wake up to the upper 30s and low 40s in and around San Antonio as well. In terms of your daytime highs, tomorrow we struggle to climb out of the low 50s. More of the same into Saturday. We get a reinforcing push of some of that cooler air this weekend. It is possible that we find a few flakes try and mix in with some of that rain, just kind of that chunky rain Saturday morning, and then potentially again on Monday. Again, no road impacts are expected because ground temperatures will remain just above freezing. Other than that, it's just going to be unseasonably cold into spring break around south central Texas, guys.
I don't know what you guys' plans were this weekend. I was going to smoke a brisket, and normally that's not that would be affected by rain or cold, but I'm rethinking things.
Yeah, maybe so. If you're going to, please just bundle up while you're outside watching that.
We can do that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mia. The time now is 9:18 and it's 66 degrees.
When we come back, we're speaking with a local doctor about an important health topic that affects men and women. She's going to talk to us about colorectal cancer and what sort of things can put us at risk for that. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 9:21. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women here in the United States.
Now, according to the American Cancer Society, 1 in 5 new cases are among those in their early 50s or younger.
This month is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and here to tell us what we need to know more about is Dr. Shruti Pandita, a medical oncologist with UT Health San Antonio MD Anderson Cancer Center. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Now, what is colorectal cancer and what increases the risk of developing colorectal cancer?
Sure. So colorectal cancer it's essentially cancer that develops in the tissues of either the colon, the large intestine, or the rectum. And the colon and the rectum are part of the lower part of the digestive tract. And so some of the risk factors for developing colorectal cancer include things like a poor diet, so a diet that's high in processed foods, sugars, low in fruits, vegetables, and other whole grains. Things such as inactivity, being sedentary, not getting regular exercise, increased alcohol consumption, such as 3 or more drinks per day. Smoking, age is also a risk factor for colorectal cancer. So as we get older, there's an increased risk, particularly in patients ages 50 and above, and things like increased weight, such as being overweight or obese.
From risk to detection, what are some of the signs of colorectal cancer?
Yeah, so a lot of the times, colorectal cancer can be asymptomatic, meaning patients will not have any symptoms. And this can be detected incidentally on a screening colonoscopy. But some signs to look out for are changes in bowel habits, bleeding in the stool or rectal bleeding, abdominal pain, discomfort, cramping, inability to have a complete bowel movement, feelings of weakness or fatigue, and unexplained weight loss.
Hear a lot about screenings. Can a screening be found locally, or what do you recommend?
Right. So, colorectal cancer screenings are very important because a lot of times, especially early stage, these cancers may not have any symptoms. And so screening tests such as a colonoscopy can really detect cancers before they become a more serious problem. And they can detect these cancers at a precancerous stage and even treat them at the same time.
Hopefully one day we won't have to talk about colorectal cancer anymore. But in the meantime, what are treatment options available for patients?
Yeah, so there are various treatment options available for patients with colorectal cancer, and it's all dependent upon, the stage of the cancer, how early it's detected, as well as things such as the patient's age, general health, and other comorbidities. And so treatment options do include surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, as well as other therapies such as targeted treatments or immunotherapy.
All right, Dr. Shruti Pandita, medical oncologist with UT Health San Antonio. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Right now, the time is 9:24 and it's 66 degrees outside. More ahead on GMSA at 9.
Indeed. Tax day a little over a month away, and we have some important changes you need to know about before you file this year.
But first, a developing situation in Killeen. Another woman died. A soldier died at Fort Hood. We are from Vanessa Gillian's family on why they say this is eerily similar to Vanessa's murder.
And as we head to break, quick check of the roads with TransGuide. Still seeing issues at I-10 at Loop 410. Stephen Cavazos will join us after the break with an update.
All right, taking a live look across the city right now. It's pretty gray out there and there's a lot going on in the forecast. We'll have the weather coming up.
Yes, it is definitely very busy into the week, and as we head into the upcoming weekend, we've got big changes that move in. A strong to severe storm potential overnight tonight with our next cold front that is going to pack a punch when it comes to those temperatures, and it is going to kick on a gusty north wind by the time we are waking up early tomorrow morning. Briefly, though, let's get you a look at the pollen count. If oak is still affecting you, a little bit like me, it has jumped up again this Thursday in the high category. Pine still moderate. Molds, hackberry, and mulberry all low. But yes, as Alyssa mentioned, it is just soggy out there, looks muggy and humid. We've got the moisture in place this morning as well. Temperatures in the 60s here in San Antonio. That thicker cloud cover looks to break up a bit as we head into the afternoon hours. Humid conditions still with us. A few lingering showers throughout the first half of the day, and then we dry things out a bit more this afternoon. With those peaks of sunshine returning, highs are headed for about 80 degrees here in San Antonio. So we'll go for one more day, warmer than average this afternoon, to a stretch of consecutive days, much colder than average. Starting off with tomorrow, again, some strong to severe storms possible before the sun comes up first thing tomorrow morning. And then we're just going to focus on those colder temperatures. Definitely will need those winter coats yet again for this upcoming weekend. We'll have a full look at that forecast in just a bit. But first, let's once again send things back over to Stephen.
Thanks, Mia. And I do have my turtleneck ready to go.
Perfect.
All right, let's get a look here. Unfortunately, guys, we do not have anything good to talk about regarding I-10 East at Loop 410. That major crash is still being reported by KSAT, and we can clearly see those flashing lights out there from TransGuide. And it's been a blurry shot. And as we went to commercial break, we saw that our friends over there were trying to wipe the lens and give us a better view of what we're taking a look at. But what we can tell you is that this is obviously causing a very significant slowdown for drivers. Right now, it's not clear if anyone was injured in this incident, but we hope everyone's doing okay. Unfortunately, traffic is just not looking good out there. Let's go ahead and take you to our map, and where we have that crash pinpointed unit. It's a major crash reported off 410 southbound as you approach I-10 east. Now, a lot of red has taken over that area of our map, and we're going to watch it very closely throughout the morning. But as we give you a wider look at the metropolitan area, it's a better story here. Lots of green on the screen. We did have an incident, and this just may be a fluke on our map that we can get rid of, but an incident that popped up there along 1604 and I-35 a little bit earlier in the morning. That situation has cleared out, and I'm not detecting any issues from the TransGuide cameras that I'm looking at, but the big problem will be back over here off I-10 East at Loop 410, where we do have that major incident reported. And I do want to make note, hey, scan the QR code that's on your screen. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is because it takes you to our KSAT traffic page, and it not only has a full list of closures, but any incident that pops up on the roadways, all our tweets are embedded on that page. So you'll be notified of what's happening on the roadways. So I always like to say, know before you go, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. Developing right now an investigation into the death of another soldier who complained of sexual harassment at the same military installation where Vanessa Guillen was murdered.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos, who followed Vanessa's story very closely, has more on this new death.
This morning, Fort Hood officials are investigating the death of Private Second Class Ana Balsadua Ruiz, a combat engineer who served with the division for the last 15 months. Her family telling me she had complained to them about sexual harassment at the post. Fort Hood telling ABC News the Army Criminal Investigation Division and the chain of command are actively investigating the facts and circumstances surrounding her death. Her death comes nearly 3 years after the death of Vanessa Guillen launched a sweeping probe into sexual misconduct at Fort Hood. Her family telling me she too had complained about being harassed by one of her fellow soldiers. Guillen was later murdered by another soldier who killed himself when being pursued by police. Her mother recalling a conversation they had before she disappeared.
A mí me está acosando sexualmente un sargento. Le dije, no, mija, es que eso no puede ser, mija. ¿Cómo a ese grado? Dijo, sí, mami, y se le salieron sus lagrimitas así.
A scathing report released more than a year after her death confirming that Guillen had been sexually harassed by a superior. The nearly 300-page document saying that leaders in her unit did not take appropriate action after she reported the sexual harassment to her supervisor on 2 separate occasions. Her sister Myra speaking to me after the report's release.
What was your initial reaction to that report?
It's sad how after over a year they finally accepted that we were saying the truth and nothing but the truth from the very beginning.
That was ABC's Stephanie Ramos reporting. We will continue to follow the latest developments regarding this investigation on our website, KSAT.com.
The victims' families of the Robb Elementary School shooting are now asking the Department of Public Safety to release records from that tragic day on May 24th of last year. An attorney representing 6 victims' families filed a plea to a state district judge this week in Austin. The families are pushing for the records because they're at the center of an ongoing lawsuit that multiple media organizations filed against the state agency. KSAT is a part of that suit. However, DPS officials refused to release them, saying there's a pending investigation exemption.
Now, since the deadly dog attack that killed 1 man here in San Antonio, the city wants to start a new program to tackle nuisance neighbors, modeled after the existing Dangerous Assessment Response Team, or DART. It already tackles the worst of the worst nuisance properties. The home on Deplis Street where the dogs lived had reportedly been the subject of more than 100 911 calls and a dozen of 311 calls in less than 3 years. However, a city spokeswoman told KSAT that the types of calls weren't severe enough to require DART. But this new program is different. It will focus on homes that have received a number of calls, even if they're low priority.
A tranquilizer used on large animals like horses and elephants is now illegal. It was first seen in the Northeast, and now it's popping up in southern states. The drug is almost always found mixed with fentanyl. Doctors say there are terrifying side effects, in some cases leaving people dead, or if they survive, with amputated limbs.
People inject it, which a lot of people, that's the way they use their fentanyl. It's very caustic to the tissues. And so it tends to cause sores. It spreads very quickly. You can get necrotic areas, and that's when you start hearing about amputation.
In a regional DEA report of southern states, there were more than 1,400 overdose deaths involved traces of this drug. That's over 1,000% higher than the year before.
Today is the deadline to apply for the Texas Rent Relief Program. It was moved up almost 2 weeks earlier than originally announced because they are seeing more applicants than funding. The program helps people with rent and utilities. Qualifying first-time applicants could get up to 18 months of rent and utility assistance. That can be applied to past, current, or future bills. We have details on how to apply also on our website at KSAT.com.
The tax deadline is fast approaching.
April 18th is the last day you can snail mail taxes or hit send electronically. We got a few extra days due to the weekend to file all the paperwork.
As Leslie Hudson reports, there are some changes this year you may need to know about.
2023 comes with a standard deduction increase to $12,950 for single filers, and married couples filing separately, $19,400 for head of household filers. That includes single parents, and $25,900 for married couples filing jointly. As for charitable donations, the $600 charitable deduction for non-itemizers, folks taking the standard deduction, has gone away. If you found yourself with hefty medical bills in 2022, you can deduct any medical expenses above 7.5% of your adjusted gross income. If you're self-employed, there are a bunch of deductions you can claim on your tax return, including travel expenses and the home office deduction. But if you're one of the millions of people who work remotely, you won't be able to claim the home office deduction since it's reserved for self-employed people only. And if you're on the road for work, you're looking at two mileage rates. 58.5 cents a mile applies for travel from January through June last year, and it's 62.5 cents per mile from July through December. Got kids? Well, here's a tax credit just for you. The child tax credit lets you credit up to $2,000 per dependent child under the age of 17. The income limit is $400,000 for married filing jointly and $200,000 for all the others. With just a few things to keep in mind before you file, I'm Leslie Hudson reporting.
9:38, 66 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Up next, we're taking a look into one local San Antonio group taking that soulful sound up to Austin.
A lot's going on at this year's South by Southwest Music Festival.
KSAT's RJ Marquez and Andrew Wilson are in Austin with a look at how a San Antonio group is taking their soul sound to the festival.
The South by Southwest Music Festival is underway right here in downtown Austin. And of course, Austin, one of the live music capitals of the world. So you can expect some big time artists and acts to take the stage here for the rest of the week. And if you want to participate in the music festival, all you got to do is head over to our website, KSAT.com, and we have a list of free concerts. Yes, free concerts. You don't need a badge to get into any one of these free concerts that are taking place here throughout the rest of the week. And also head over to our website to learn more about a local R&B duo that are hitting the stage here at South by Southwest. They're called Mojo Family, blending some San Antonio soul with some unique sounds from the New Orleans coast. All you got to do is head over to our website. We have full coverage there of South by Southwest. Also, don't forget to check out our live streams on our KSAT YouTube page. Reporting from downtown Austin, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
New Orleans and San Antonio sound mixed together. That sounds great. Coming up later today on SA Live, the stars are out for red carpet interviews with a cast of a new show called Lucky Hank. There we go, Lucky Hank. The SA Live crew was at South by Southwest to meet with them all before the world premiere of the show. Be sure and tune in today for SA Live right after the news at noon.
Today is one of those days where I think any meteorologist worth their salt would take 10 minutes gladly to explain everything that's about to happen around here.
If we could just go on forever, we could just talk about everything, go into the dynamics of it all. Yeah, we've got a lot of changes headed our direction, all starting with tonight as we see that front move through and then much colder temperatures arrive and the winds are going to kick up. It's really what you're going to notice tomorrow morning as well. But first, let's once again get you a look at the radar right now, just because if you have stepped outside this morning, you do need the rain jacket or the umbrella. Nothing incredibly heavy out there right now. We just have that nuisance drizzle, some light rain still pushing pushing across Bexar County. Some more notable drizzle again just to the north of 1604 there, northwestern Bexar County. But again, more of that mist pushing across the San Antonio area. That does stretch down to Wilson County as well. Stockdale, Lavernia there around Highway 87, Floresville, Poth, even Elmendorf along 181. Catching up on some of that drizzle as well. That does continue farther up to the Smiley area, Gonzales, and even closer to Seguin. So throughout the remainder of the morning, we'll monitor for just more of that drizzle in spots, but we'll really quiet things down a bit more this afternoon. Some peaks of sunshine returning, highs near about 80. Still a bit muggy out there, but then the big show in terms of rain and thunderstorms moves in overnight tonight, especially after midnight. In between about midnight to 2 a.m. here in San Antonio, we see that cold front move through. Along with it, we are expecting a line of rain and thunderstorms, some of which will likely be strong, potentially even severe at times. And then we'll see those rain chances taper off throughout the first half of the day tomorrow, dry things out a little bit more by Friday afternoon. This is the catalyst here. Area of low pressure off to our north. You can see sparking widespread rain, even some snow where those colder temperatures are filtering behind that cold front. Just how cold? Check this out. 61 in Wichita, Kansas right now, front on their doorstep. 35 in Omaha, Nebraska. Check out Bismarck, North Dakota in the teens. This 9 a.m. hour, 18 degrees there across the northern tier. It's not going to get that cold here in South Central Texas, but you definitely will want to bust out the coats again, especially by tomorrow morning. So let's once again take you through the futurecast, what we can expect here over the next 24 hours. We see some peaks of sunshine out there this afternoon. Notice by about 10 to 11 o'clock, especially across portions of the hill country, we start to see some showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms develop as that front approaches from the north. It pushes into Bexar County, and between the midnight to 2 a.m. time frame early Friday morning, there are those rumbles of thunder that accompany the boundary as it moves farther off to the south. 3 a.m. some heavier activity near Gonzales, New Braunfels, Wilson County here in Bexar County. Some storms stretching over to the western reaches of the area as well. That will be the theme. Some rumbles of thunder making for a noisy overnight. By the time we're stepping out first thing tomorrow morning, take the rain gear with you. The severe weather threat should be much lower by morning drive time tomorrow, but still some lingering showers, a couple of isolated storms possible before we taper things off throughout the remainder of the morning. KSAT Weather Authority app, a great resource to have through the overnight hours as well. We'll go live if we need to. And of course, you can check the radar. If you don't have the weather app, you can just scan that QR code right there. It'll take you to a link where you can download it. In terms of rainfall totals, while we don't want the severe weather threat, at least we could pick up on some beneficial rain, especially across our central and eastern counties. Don't get locked in on exact totals and exact locations because it isn't perfect, but it generally does go to show we could find in between ½ of an inch to an inch of rain. Some localized higher totals certainly possible. Then our focus turns to the wind. Tomorrow morning, some gusts upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour possible. Probably a good idea to bring in some of those empty trash cans closer to the house, tie down some of those loose lawn items as well. Then into Friday afternoon, those winds calm a bit more in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range in terms of those winds as well. Of course, what that will do is make for a cold start, feeling like the 30s first thing tomorrow morning. And then yes, this weekend, Saturday morning, a few snowflakes possible mixing in with some of that cold rain, especially across portions of the hill country. We may see a repeat of that into Monday. We'll keep eyes on it. Still cold into the start of next week, and then we'll warm things up by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Thank you.
You bet.
Mia.
You bet.
Time now 9:48, 66 degrees.
Up next, the Spurs looking to finish their season strong, but now they are without a key player. We'll explain who that is and how long he could be out for.
Spurs hosting the Mavericks last night. The rivalry isn't what it used to be back when these were Western Conference powerhouses. It was still fun to watch. First quarter, Keldon Johnson back in action, drives for the lefty layup off the glass. Spurs lead 14-13. Spurs would be on top at halftime. Third quarter, Malachi Branham connects from downtown, extending the Spurs lead to 90-82. Mavs would cut the lead to 6. Heading into the fourth quarter, Dallas would tie this at 114 with 1:52 to go. Spurs answer right back. Huge three-point shot. Spurs go ahead 117-114. Final seconds off a Mavs miss. Keldon Johnson throws the ball down court for Trey Jones. And the layup, and Dallas leads by 1 with 5 seconds left. Spurs down 2, 1.8 left on the clock. Branham inbound, feed to Keldon for the slam, and we're going to OT tied at 121. Despite the late comeback, the Spurs fall 137-128 in overtime. Grizzlies come to town to play the Spurs tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the AT&T Center. Before tip-off last night, Spurs announced Charles Bassey will miss the remainder of the season after suffering a fracture in his left patella. It happened on that play during the first quarter of the Spurs Magic game the other night. Running back Ezekiel Elliott is looking for a new team today. That's after the Cowboys released the two-time rushing champion, making him a free agent yesterday. Zeke is 27 years old, coming off his least productive season in rushing yards and yards per carry. As a post-June first cut, this will save the team nearly $11 million against the cap for the upcoming season. Cowboys also restructured defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence's deal to open up nearly $9 million in cap space. And Dallas will rework the contract of offensive lineman Tyron Smith to make it more cap-friendly with playtime incentives.
Big mess still remains, guys. Unfortunately, we're back here with another traffic update. I-10 East at Loop 410. Now, although things look like they've cleared, it's actually just traffic that's been directed off of the highway there. First responders are still out there in the distance, and unfortunately, they've had to close that area of the highway here at I-10 East at Loop 410, which has led to big delays. Let's take a look there at the map, because where we see at 410 southbound at I-10 East, big buildup does remain, so I just updated our tweet on our KSAT traffic page, so stay updated with that for the very latest, but just not looking good out there. I do want to make note here off of 35 southbound near Loop 1604. Earlier, we told you about an incident that was reported. I confirmed some things with our friends at TransGuide, and it does look like a major crash has been reported in the area, where we are also seeing a portion of the highway that has been shut down. And unfortunately, there are no TransGuide cameras that are able to get us a view of the conditions out there. But let's give you a wide look at the metropolitan area. And thankfully, we're seeing a little bit more green out there, but notice that there are some little spots where we find some congestion off 1604 near I-10 on the northwest side. Make sure you drive safe out there, and we're going to track this as long as we can. But I-10 East at Loop 410, remember, traffic has been directed off of that area of the highway and is closed for the time being. Mia.
All right, thank you, Stephen. You could just see looking outside of that TransGuide camera, it is still soggy out there in spots. We do have some of that drizzle, some light rain still pushing across Bexar County. We'll monitor that over the next few hours. Generally just a stray shower possible as we head into the early afternoon. This low-level, thicker cloud cover in place does look to break up a bit, especially by the late afternoon, early evening time frame. Those temperatures climbing to about 80 degrees here in San Antonio. Also has been breezy this morning. Well, those winds really kick on tomorrow morning after we see that front move through with a few storms possible, some of which could be strong. Then yes, much colder air into the weekend.
Well, you all take a listen to this. The U.S. has a new favorite dog after more than 30 years. With their bat-like ears and wrinkly noses, French bulldogs are now the top dogs in the country.
According to the American Kennel Club's 2022 registration stats, the cute and compact French bulldog now sits in the #1 spot. It's the first time in 31 years the Labrador Retriever has been unseated as the most popular dog breed in America.
Frenchies are small in size and have a quiet demeanor. They are not typically prone to barking and don't need as much exercise, but since they have the flat noses, they will have some trouble breathing.
That's right, as well. Yes, and so something to think about if you're, of course, we always like to you to consider adopting a pet first, if at all possible. But you never know, a Frenchie may wind up in a local shelter.
Yes. That's true. There was a pug there recently, too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you never know.
Hey, and I told this morning, we mentioned a dog named Mushu at the Humane Society. That dog is the longest dog at the shelter, and Mushu was adopted this week.
Yes.